Well, what you say, ladies and gents, it is your boy Bucket Sam, and we are back again today for another video. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a match reaction, a match analysis to the Leicester versus Napoli game in Group C, the Europa League. What a game of football. This is what football, for the neutral, this is the perfect game. End-to-end football, counter-attacking, beautiful football on display, 4 goals, a late equaliser, limbs everywhere in the way end, and a brilliant atmosphere throughout the game. And one thing I want to say is the Leicester fans, they were rocking tonight. Yes, they didn't get the result they wanted in the end. It's still a point at the end of the day, but the ground and the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. But anyway, I'm going to be going through, reacting to the goals, kind of giving you a little bit of analysis and explaining what I think went on in this game, what I think went wrong, and what I think went right. So let's get right into it. So the two teams went out with 4-3-3 formations. I thought it was extremely odd, especially from Leicester. With the formation, yes, I get the 4-3-3 to match up against Napoli. You know, Spalletti will always play a 4-3-3. It's always very same players, realistically. You know, the three in midfield. Always the same as Anguissa, the old Fulham player. Then you're going to have Fabian Ruiz and Zielinski. I can never say his name, really struggle with him. And then the front three of Lozano, Osimhen and Insigne, and then real front three. So they kind of wanted to match that. But one thing I was really worried about Leicester was, actually there's two things. First of all, straight away, Jonny Evans and Vestergaard playing centre-back. Osimhen is known as one of the fastest strikers in European football. Yes, he's what I'd like to say is a very unorthodox striker. Yes, he got 2 goals. We're going to analyse him in a bit. But more importantly, let's talk about Vestergaard and Jonny Evans. The two of them lack pace. Completely lack of pace. Yes, they're both very good on the ball, very good at reading play, but pace is one thing they don't have. And especially with Jonny Evans, who is coming back, well, this was his first game back really from injury. He's kind of coming back into the squad, playing little bits here and there. And I thought it was unfair to play against Osimhen. And we saw a few times in the first half, Osimhen kind of latching onto balls over the top or into the channels, and he was absolutely destroying the two of them for pace. I thought Vestergaard had a really, really poor game, especially in the second half. He was at fault for that second goal. He let Osimhen get past way too easily. He gave away a lot of balls. I think he just struggled in this formation, especially against a fast striker. And I think the problem is with Osimhen is, we've seen it in the past when he was at Lille. He's an extremely unorthodox striker in the sense that he makes unusual runs, very unusual runs, very good though, like always running the channels, always really, he's a driver, always wants to get the ball, but his shooting is all over the place. The goal he took, the first goal, was absolutely unreal. Brilliant touch, lobbed the keeper beautifully. Honestly, an absolute screamer of a goal. Very, very good individual goal. Yes, Vestergaard has said it, problem, but overall, that's a brilliant finish. And the final goal, that header is not as easy as you think. Very, very good goal. Brilliant shot, but then he had 4 shots off target, and they were awful shots. And in the first half, you were thinking, no way he's going to score. He had a big, hefty price tag from Lille back for around 70 million last summer, and he scored 10 goals last season. But today, he was insane. He was immense. And to be honest, I really thought it was an interesting performance from Napoli. The 4-3-3 formation, as I said before, you know what they're going to do. They're going to try and play through the lines. They don't like to go long. But what I really like that Leicester did in the first half is Leicester pressed, and I mean they pressed hard. They pressed hard specifically, though, on the defenders other than Koulibaly, because Koulibaly is unreal on the ball. We all know that. Every time Koulibaly got the ball, they pressed hard because they didn't want to give him time to kind of move the ball around, pass it either way. He can play it long, he can play it short, and he's very, very good on the ball. And that's where the first goal came from. It was Iheanacho press, I think it might have been. Well, somebody pressed Koulibaly. Koulibaly then tries to play a cross-field pass. He's forced into a move extremely fast. Bertrand intercepts it. Then Harvey Barnes plays a 1-2 the Iheanacho, and then the one thing that was huge in this move, which not many people will talk about, is Iheanacho's movement. If any of the young strikers watching this now, watch Iheanacho's movement. Go back and watch Iheanacho. He's towards the back post. He's in between the fullback and the centre back, and so the centre back's facing the wrong way. The centre back's poorly positioned in the sense that he should really be opened up and know where the striker is, but he didn't. And so then Iheanacho knows exactly what he's doing. So Iheanacho runs to the front post, and the fullback then has the dilemma: do I stay where I am or do I follow the free man? And obviously he's going to follow the free man, which then frees up Ayoze Perez, arriving late from that right central midfield role that I think he was playing. And then it arrives on it late, and it's a brilliant finish. It's not as easy as you think. Ospina potentially could have done a little bit better with it, but it's quite close, really. You can't expect that much of him, but I'm being slightly harsh there. And yeah, that's where the first goal came from. And I thought Leicester, to be honest, were going to dominate this game. After watching that at the start, Leicester's press was beautiful. It was brilliant. But then the problem was, for some reason, I don't know whether Brendan Rodgers had told Harvey Barnes. I thought Harvey Barnes was at fault for a lot of chances. And I think he was one of the reasons why they conceded today. And I think this might seem a bit harsh, but he doesn't track his runner. Quite often, he's very high up on the pitch, stays on that left side and does not track the right back at all. Never tracks the right back, which is extremely poor. You'd really want him to track the right back. And a couple of times that Malcott had a few chances, especially early on in the half when Insigne would cut in on that right foot. And Leicester did very well. With Insigne, we saw it in the Euros. He's going to cut in on that right foot and he's going to try and curl it into that top far corner. And what happened every time was everyone closing down and blocked him. But then they even became more narrow to try and stop that shot, which then freed up Malcott even more. And there were so many times where Malcott was left free and Harvey Barnes would arrive late. And from that final goal was, in my opinion, Harvey Barnes' fault again. Didn't track that runner, and that's why the cross came in from that right-hand side. Yes, he did obviously score, and it was a brilliant goal that he did score. And he had a very good game attacking-wise, but I think quite often, he doesn't track his runners. And if you look back in the highlights, it's very often. And against the better sides in this competition who have got better fullbacks, I thought Malcott had quite a poor game, they will really hurt you. It was the same for Daka on the other side. They were leaving gaps. I don't know if Brendan Rodgers wanted them to do this and stay high, but then if you're going to keep your wingers high, you've got to have your midfielders, your three in the middle, either come out wide or stay central. They can't be in that no man's land, because then if they're in that no man's land, they're not marking the fullback, and then they're leaving the centre midfielders can then run through those gaps in the middle. And that's what Zielinski, why did I struggle with his name? Zielinski kept finding those gaps in the middle, kind of like a number 10, and kind of really played some nice balls and some really nice football. So it was quite an interesting game. I didn't expect Napoli to do what they did in the end, because they didn't take their chance in the first half, and I thought, if you're not going to take your chances there, they're going to really miss it. They're going to really, really be annoyed at the end of this and look back and think, we've missed a big chance here. But no, Osimhen took his two chances, really, that he's had. The two big chances. He had quite a few others, but they were awful shots, if I'm honest. The two shots he had on target were both goals. Napoli could have scored more. There was a very contentious offside decision, but when you saw it back for Leicester, it was a disallowed goal. Leicester had chances, but overall, I think it was a very poor performance for a couple of players when they came on for Leicester. Tielemans seemed very shaky, and one thing I don't understand what it is, a lot of the time Leicester gave away the ball so often, and I got it at the start when Napoli gave the ball away quite often, and that was purely down to the Leicester press. But Leicester, so many unforced errors, that's what I'm trying to say. So many times giving the ball away stupidly in really silly positions and just applying pressure to themselves. And that's Tielemans giving the ball away in his own half quite a few times, which is not something you really think of when you think of Tielemans. You think of a player who would keep the ball, very nice player. Quite a lot of mistakes from him tonight. One player I really thought was good was Samari. I thought he was brilliant in the middle. I thought Ayoze Perez struggled in that central midfield role, but that's not his position, so I didn't really understand why he was playing as part of that three in the middle. But Tielemans didn't have the best game, and I thought it was just kind of a lot of mistakes in the game. And do you know what, actually, reflecting now after I've waffled on and thought about it, I think it's a fair result, a 2-2 draw. And Napoli fans should be very happy going back. The travelling fans that were there, they were very loud, very, very good game. Do you know what? I love it. This is why we love football. Games like that is why we love football. Late equalisers. This Group C is going to be a very interesting group. These two are really going to battle it out this year, because what is interesting about the Europa League this season, not many people know this, but only first is guaranteed to get promoted into the next round. And second place has to play third place from the Champions League, the people that get demoted. So it's going to be very interesting. These two will be battling out. I'll tell you now, one of these two clubs will win this Group C. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this game, guys. I'm going to say my man of the match, probably either Fabian Ruiz, Osimhen or Samari. But I'm going to have to give it to Osimhen. He was laughed at in the game, and there'll be a lot of memes about his finishing at some points, but he single-handedly got Napoli a point here. That first goal he got to kind of give them that momentum to really get back into the game was a beautiful solo goal. So yes, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this match reaction and analysis. If you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you soon. There'll be more videos coming your way, but thank you again. Back out, Sam, over and out. Thank you, goodbye.